The crackle of the 911 dispatch cut through the quiet hum of my office like a bad joke turning sour. "We've got a dangerous intruder refusing to leave HOA property at Willow Creek Pond," the voice announced, dripping with urgency. Little did the caller know that intruder was me, on my own damn pond, and as the local volunteer fire chief, I was sitting 10 feet from the console, hearing every word of her desperate lie unfold in real time. My name's Harlan Reeves, 54, a third-generation landscaper in Elmwood County, Oregon. The Reeves property, 320 acres of rolling hills, wildflower meadows, and a pristine 5-acre pond we've called Willow Creek since my grandpa dammed it up in the 50s with nothing but a shovel and sheer grit, has been our family's heartbeat. He bought the land post-World War II with railroad wages and a GI Bill dream, turning scrub brush into a haven where my dad planted native trees in the 70s, and I learned to skip stones across that glassy water before I could tie my shoes. It's not just dirt and H2O. It's roots, memories, the kind of place where mornings smell like fresh mulch and engine oil from my old John Deere. I run a small nursery business from the barn, tending saplings that end up in backyards across the state, and volunteer as fire chief, unpaid gig for 20 years now, sharing dispatch with the sheriff's office. My wife, Mara, teaches history at the local high school. Our kids are off in Portland chasing tech jobs, but swing back for barbecues and holidays. My pop, Earl, 89, Vietnam vet, bunks in the old shed-turned cabin, bird-watching from the pond's edge at sunrise, rain or shine. Life was steady, predictable until the subdivision sprouted like weeds next door. For years back, a 60-acre plot to the west got snapped up by a slick developer from Portland. They sliced it into 15 upscale lots dubbed Willow Creek Villas, McMansions starting at $750,000, snapped up by ex-urbanites escaping Seattle's rain and California's chaos. The HOA coalesced faster than mold in a damp basement, their rulebook thicker than my grandma's Bible, crammed with nonsense about uniform aesthetics and community harmony. Our fence lines kissed. From their manicured patios, they could glimpse my pond sparkling through the oaks. But access? Zilch. It's all on my title, clear as day. First, the newcomers were harmlessly clueless. They'd saunter to the boundary wire, wave amiably. "Mind if we dip a line in that pond? Looks inviting." Chuckle. Unroll the plat maps. Point out the lines. "Sorry, folks. Private property. Family legacy." Most nodded, backed off with a shrug. A couple huffed about sharing the beauty, but moved on. Then Vivian Hartwell moved into the edge lot. Vivian, 56, ex-marketing VP from a Silicon Valley startup. Freshly single after a messy split, claimed she came for serenity and fresh air. Picture her, Pilates sculpted, hair streaked 2 platinum for Oregon drizzle, tooling around in a silver Prius with plates reading Pond View. No lie, she's the queen of weaponized civility, lacing every chat with "for the greater good" and neighborhood values, all while building email chains longer than a CVS receipt over a hedge trimmed an inch too low. 5 months before that fateful 911 farce, Vivian clawed her way to HOA president. Barely a week in, a certified mail bomb landed in my box, stuffed with annexes, footnotes, and yellow highlights like a conspiracy theorist's manifesto. It alleged some dusty 19th century township sketch proved a public pathway easement snaking through my land to the pond. Demanded pedestrian privileges for HOA folk, a groomed trail, even seasonal bench rights, or face court. I shelled out $2,800 for a surveyor and title lawyer. Verdict: total baloney. The county archivist laughed it off. No easement here. Not in 1875. Not ever. I mailed her the proof. Polite as pie. No sorry from Vivian. She just swiveled to plan B, and our peaceful patch became a battlefield. Posty bunk. Vivian didn't flinch, she reloaded. A fortnight later, another missive. Curt and cutting. Your fence encroaches on HOA Commons. You've poached our turf for decades. I snorted coffee reading it, then sobered up realizing she meant business. She rustled up an out-of-town surveyor, the type you hire for biased results over facts. Cut to a drizzly Wednesday. I'm in the greenhouse repotting ferns, hands caked in soil, when entitled chatter echoes outside. I peek out, for figures tromping across my meadow, 150 yards past the gate, lugging stakes, lasers, and notepads like conquistadors. Vivian leads, in Lululemon leggings and a North Face jacket pricier than my mower, flanked by HOA cronies and a neon-vested hack-toting gear. I stroll over, voice level. This is private land. No invite, no entry. She beams that saccharine grin, the one that screams passive-aggressive HR seminar. Oh, Harlan, we're merely clarifying the contested border. Our experts entitled to inspect for community equity. You understand. I counter. Pack up or sheriff's next. She whips out her iPhone. Hits record. Proceed. Team. Documenting this intimidation for the record. One crony. A banker type in loafers sinking into mud. Bob's agreement like a dashboard toy. Their pricey sneakers squelch on my turf, grating like feedback on a mic. I skip the call. Snap pics instead, their mugs, kit, plates, then saunter back, grinning. They mill confused, then scram. That afternoon, I ring my attorney, Lena Voss, ranch raised, bar exam ace, bully slayer extraordinaire. Even if lines were fuzzy, which they're not, surveyors need permission or a warrant, she snaps. They've got squat. Pro tip for land spats in Oregon. Unauthorized survey trespass is a ticketable offense, ripe for restraining orders. Jot that. Lena fires off a cease and desist that night, certified and emailed. I file ethics beef with the state board. Her merc disowns the gig, blames Vivian for misrepresentations and directed intrusion. He rats her out quicker than a sinking ship. Her scheme craters, board whispers ensue. A few slip me sorry notes. We were duped, but Vivian, she amplifies. She blasts the HOA's secret Facebook den. Local landscaper menaced us today. Violence implied. Law ignored our pleas to probe rightful lines. Attaches my sheriff quip, twisted to paint me as unhinged. Mara spots it via a tip-off. Storms impale. Harlan, she's slandering you online. Post racks 42 comments. Strangers dubbing me bully, thug. One snarks. Fire chief? More like fire hazard if he threatens neighbors. My jaw clenches. Mara's mortified school gossip looms. I squeeze her hand. Let her rope herself. On. We've got receipts. Inside. Rage simmers. Vivian's game isn't justice. It's smear tactics, and she's warming up. That evening, I perch by the pond with Pop. Water laps cool and earthy. He reels in, grunts. Some snakes shed skin but keep the fangs. Spot on. But fangs be damned, I hold ground. A week post-survey shenanigans. I truck out to the far field for mulch spreading. Dawn mist hanging thick. Hauling 200 pounds of compost. I hit the access gate, Our legal easement clipping HOA turf for my back acres, and it's padlocked shut, chain beefy as a wrestler's arm. No sign, just blatant blockade. Idle, debating fury versus awe at the gall. Fury wins. Bolt cutters from the toolbox shear it in a minute. I pass through, tend business, exit, drop the scraps as a hello. Next dawn, beefier lock. Temper tempts, but lesson learned record, then retaliate. Post first trespass. I'd rigged a trail cam in the oaks, motion triggered, infrared, audio snag. I yank the card. Cue footage. Vivian at 5:45 a.m. Prius idling. Headlamp bobbing as she loops chain. Fingerless gloves on like a budget spy. Mike catches her mumble. Try getting to your precious field now. You hoarder. Triple-backed the vid. Then sheriff's office bound. Sheriff Dale Harlan, no kin. High school pal. Ex-army. Blunt as a hammer. Sips from a mug etched, your opinion isn't evidence. I slide the drive. Watch this. He views stoic. Then, criminal tampering at least. Obstruction. She'll whine HOA gate. Jail her. Not yet, I say. Build the dossier. He nods. Wise. Report filed. Patrols upped. Land war wisdom. Log all before badges. Timestamps trump tails. Dale prints the report. I mail Vivian a velvet-gloved threat. Removing your illicit locks per Oregon statute. Access interference equals mischief under RS 164.345. Repeat. And suits fly. Rational folks fold. Vivian convenes crisis board huddle. A wavering border leaks. Vivian rants for armed guards to safeguard borders. Trio box. $6K legal sinkhole yielding zilch but bad vibes. A CPA vet gripes. This vendetta's draining reserves. She quashes. Weakness tanks values. Residents riot. Frames me as value vampire. Vote squeaks 5-2 for $12,000 billings firm retainer. Days later, their epistle arrives. Legalese labyrinth demanding I halt aggressions and mediate. Over stake. I read aloud to Mara. At hostile acts. We guffaw. You snipped a chain on your gate, she wheezes. Public enemy number one. Humor fades. Stakes spike. Vivian's not litigating to win. Bleed me dry till I cave. She misses my vow. Bankruptcy before buckle. Next month. Agency ants swarm. Petty at first. Then blitz. Health department kicks off. Weary inspector knocks. Clipboard limp. Anon tip. Pond runoff tainting groundwater. I tour him. Tests pristine. Waste of gas, he mutters. Clears me. Environmental quality next. Cattle? Nah. But claims your nursery chem leaches algae. Half-day probes, water A+. Model stewardship, he praises. Zoning caps. Unlicensed eco-tours alleged. I blink. Tours? This is saplings. Not safaris. She sighs. Must check complaints. Not a found. Triple whammy. 36 hours flat. All anonymous from HOA at willowcreek.org IPs. Pattern screams. I trace. Fume quietly. But Vivian UPS ante. One twilight. Pop hollers. Birds twitching by the pond feeder. Vet rush. Antifreeze traces, deliberate dump. 3 feeders tainted. Birds saved. But rage boils. Cam check. Grainy night vid. Silver Prius creeps. Hooded figure pours jug into troughs. Face flashes. Vivian. Smug in shadows. Sheriff Dale views. Felony animal cruelty. Warrant raids her garage. jug residue, stained rags, gloves reeking glycol. Gotcha, he grins. Media time. I tip local reporter Quinn Ellis. HOA pres poisons wildlife over pond spat. She digs. Interviews Vivian first. Teary denials. He's the aggressor. Then my bomb, vids. Reports. 911 tape where she dubs me armed squatter on my turf. Airs eve before mediation. From easement lies to poison plots. HOA boss unmasked. Comments explode. Arrest her. HOA hell. Vivian's email begs. Resign if you drop suit. Mistakes. No jail. I ignore. Mediation dawns. Stuffy room. Me and Lena versus Vivian and fidgety counsel. Sheriff looms. DA notes. Board witnesses squirm. Commissioner opens. I rise. No compromise. Evidence of crimes. Project vids. Trespass parade. Lock mutter. False call. Possibly dangerous. Dispatch. That's Reeves' land. Complaint spam. Poison pour. Motive. HOA docs plotting adverse claim to dodge dev fraud suits over pond hype. Silence thunders. DA. Charges. All. Board ousts Vivian. Apologizes. Pays $15,000 fees. Sheriff cuffs. Animal poisoning. False report. She wails. It's unfair. We deserved access. Post-arrest. Board crumbles. Insurance ditches her. She pleads. Misdemeanor false report. Probation. Felony cruelty. 18 months suspended. $20,000 restitution. 150 hours service. Loses marketing gig. Sells house at loss. Flees to Nevada. We settle. Fees covered. Public sorry in paper lauding my restraint. But victories build phase. I host pond open house. 35 show with casseroles. Regrets. We believed her lies. One sobs. I launch biannual community pond day. $15 per head. Birdwatch and picnic. Funds to fire department. Sells out. Restitution seeds Earl Reeves grant for Enviro studies. First to a boarder's kid eyeing forestry. Paper follow-up. From feud to fellowship. Pop thrives. Jokes outlasting suburban snakes. I easement 20 acres wild sign eternal. So, that's how I flipped an HOA despot's 911 bluff on my pond. No fury, just facts. Letting her noose tighten. If you've battled HOA Karens, spill below. And tell me, in a world of community rules, is standing firm selfish, or the ultimate act of justice?